I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been this successful in life?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. There was fights, allegedly, last week. We're gonna just blow right past that because nobody cares.
We're gonna pull out like fucking Macy Barber. We're just not gonna show up for that one.
Yeah.
No seizures here, though.
Quickest recap ever. Sean watched less of the card than I did, and I watched one round of one fight because the NBA games were at halftime. I forget which game it was. Probably Knicks. Yeah, Knicks Pacers was at halftime, and that was it. Just can't do it. Can't do it.
And dumbass Wes watched every single fight.
Well, that goes without saying. Absolutely goes without saying. We don't need to shame you like that. It's all right.
I need to be shamed at this point.
People like what they like.
I guess the real question, did Wes tune in to The Ultimate Fighter this week?
Yes. Dude, I do like a lot more like skipping than like the past few. I pretty much skipped through almost all of it to just get to the fight. You know what I'm saying? I do still watch
the first episode of a new season.
Second, they did the second one. Yeah,
gotcha.
I do still like to kind of pay attention to a little bit of them training and how they interact and see how they're training and shit. So when they do have fights at the end of on an actual card, I might have this guy's an actual bum and I can bet against him, but that's not even been working out the past couple years either. So Brian Battle, you're fucking dead to me, you prick.
Good article from our boy Dan Tom about basically how UFC sucks now.
What we've been saying for 3 years.
He put it a whole lot more eloquently than I could, and used a better word structure than I just this shit is horrible nowadays. He went into some good points about why it's becoming that, but made very good points.
Yes, he did. Another man who used to make good points. Sadly, Jordan Breen passed away sometime last week. For those who are, you can't even say newer fans at this point. For those who aren't old fans, might not know him, but it's probably the best MMA voice of the late Pride into the UFC
kind of the second generation
area.
Almost.
Yeah. And that man knew more about MMA than he's forgotten more about MMA than I'll ever know. And I still know a good bit about this sport. Used to listen to him all the time. And that's it's unfortunate. Don't know any of the details. Not sure I want to know any of the details. Because I'm sure it's not great, considering he was 37,
38,
about
38.
Yeah. So never like to see that, but MMA had already lost him because it's dog shit now, and he didn't cover it anymore. But it officially lost one of the good ones from all estimations, personally and then professionally. Incredible source of knowledge.
Yeah, I don't I kind of we talk about just how where the sport is now of people missing out. Newer fans also missed out on kind of the community of MMA from 15 years ago, where there was no Twitter and all the social media you have now. You connected on these shows like
Forums.
that and
Shows and
forums
forums.
and these
Yeah.
shows, and it was a lot less, even for MMA standards, it was so much less toxic. You all kind of had this general like of the same thing that wasn't mainstream. Nobody even gave a fuck about, nobody paid attention to, but it was still this small little group of people, man. And we all enjoyed it. The product and everything was so much better than and stuff, but that's what that newer fans really missed out on. It wasn't necessarily the better product per se. It was that kind of community around the better product that they'll never get to experience, to where now just look at Twitter, how just even the fans in the fan base are so toxic with each other and arguing about everything and shit. Back then we all had a general love for the sport. I miss those days as much as I miss the product even being better, you know?
Yeah. It used to be fun. Like, I used to be, when I was in university, I would hop on forums instead of studying and talk about random fights, like upcoming fights or past fights, for hours. And you could learn a ton. You could find a whole bunch of different fights to go and watch, beyond just like the UFC Pride sort of stuff at the time. And yeah, that is
early Twitter felt like that too. That's why, like, Twitter was so great when it first came around, because there was still like that
2009 to 2012 ish.
Yeah, it was still that forum type of feel, and it was still the community, and yeah, I miss those times, man. Like, a lot.
There was no Elon shoveling just massive tubes of shit down your throat via an algorithm.
Yeah, telling you to vote for a pedophile and then calling him a pedophile later, you know.
Oh, Lordy.
Love it. Good times. Speaking of good times, I don't know if this is going to be good times, but UFC 316. It's in Newark. So that's not good times.
Don't fly out of your Newark. Just drive down to the next
LaGuardia or whatever.
Yeah, go anywhere but Newark Airport. Apparently they can't even see your plane coming in, bro.
Jesus. But the real world guy is running the show now.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, how could this happen? Who could have predicted?
Oh, man.
Yeah, but aside from it being in Newark, rematch that I guess, like, we didn't ask for, but I guess it doesn't suck. Merab and O'Malley in the main event. First fight was good. First fight was competitive. We'll see how this one goes. Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison, co-main event, in like the fight that might have the most combined like X-Pac go away heat of all time. And then some other shit. So we'll get through it all. There's we didn't waste time breaking down the previous card. There's 13 fights on this one, so what say we just jump in, fellas? At the lightweight division, Markel Medeiros taking on Mark Chinsey. Sean?
Yeah, don't have much here. The Rufus Sport guy, debuting fighter, has been beating up a bunch of bums and 500 fighters at Anthony Pettis's regional promotion, and now that got him to the UFC. I don't think Markel Medeiros is that good, but he's 2-0 in the UFC, 1 on Contender Series, and those guys that he's beating are much better than the guys that the cheap guy has been beating on the regional scene. So I'll pick the favorite, Medeiros.
Wesley?
Yeah, Sean pretty much hit everything there. I can't lay juice on Medeiros, though. Like, what do we really know about that dude either? But yeah, strength of schedule much better. I was kind of looking at Medeiros by decision because I feel like this is two kind of close dudes that, you got your dude that's smoking guys that he should, and then he gets up to the UFC, and those just end up turning into pretty competitive fights. So yeah, win or lose, I think this probably goes 15. And if you like either guy, maybe look at by decision. But I'm gonna pick Medeiros. Might throw a little something on Medeiros by decision.
Yeah, nothing really here for me. I know that Medeiros has fought a couple times in the UFC and Contender Series. I think I actually watched one of them, but zero memories of like what he's good at, anything about him. He's just, generic Latin fighter number whatever at this point. And then obviously I've never seen the chintzy fella, considering that it's only been Anthony Pettis's cards where he's just been getting softball matchups, and I ain't watching all that. So nothing here for me. We'll move it along. I would say it's going to be a learning experience, but I'm not going to watch it. So that's just a lie. Killen Salkill, the least Australian, or at least Australian sounding Australian fella ever, taking on Yanal Ashmouth. Sean?
I mean the Australian has got a bit of hype behind him. I mean, if you look at the line, that kind of makes sense. I think he's just kind of better than Ashmouth at what Ashmouth wants. Like Ashmouth probably wants to grapple, and I think Salkild is a better grappler, so he's gonna have a tough time at that. So I do kind of understand the line, but you wouldn't find me laying those kind of juices on this lower level of fight.
Very reasonable. Wesley?
I think this Jewish guy is the greatest fighter that's ever lived.
You try not to get canceled? You trying not to get
try not to get deported
or what?
Try not to get deported, bro. This line just seems crazy to me. Probably pick Ashmouth and Toutmaster, but yeah, the Australian kid's probably just a little better than him everywhere. Probably wins this fight, but man, that line's just kind of crazy.
He's not even like one of the Australian dudes that's with Adesanya
City.
and like Volk and all that, right? He's elsewhere, some other camp in Australia.
Yeah, Louistrow Combat Academy. Yeah, he's over. He's in like Perth, so he's like on. Like on the opposite side of the continent from these fuckers,
where all of the people live. Yeah. And the other guy, I am allowed to say he sucks. Apparently, us Jews can be anti-Semitic to other Jews by saying that they suck these days, but I'm not planning to go to the States anytime soon, so I don't really need to worry about it. That said, like, that's a big line for a guy who has he really shown anything in the UFC? Like, he won in 20 seconds over a scrub who's terrible. And apparently we're allowed to say that all the Indian fighters suck, and we don't get canceled for that. But can't say it about the Jews. Oh. Anyway, yeah, no, not a bet here. I think that the old parlay boys could be in for a bit of a rough ride with that one, though. Maybe they get there, but I think there might be some clenching along the way. Next up, the bangers keep coming. Ju sang you.
Boxing card.
Who sang who? Is this guy? Is it anti-Semitic if we say that Jew sucks? Or is it just Jews?
Watch it, bro.
He's testing them.
Jesus.
People watching.
He's taking on Jaka Saragi, who he was
Fucking-
one of those like road to UFC guys that I think had one surprising win, but
Yep.
kind of sucks also. Sean, thoughts?
Yeah, surprising win, and then he lost to Weston Wilson. And if you lose to Weston Wilson, you
That's
should
not
not
good.
be in the UFC, and there's not a
Because he
chance in
should
hell
be
I
in the
will
UFC.
ever pick you or bet you in your entire career. So I will pick Jusang Yu.
He also
You saying
lost
who?
to the scrub that got knocked out by
Jubli.
hyped up Australian guy. Yeah.
Correct.
That's not good either.
No.
I think he was a big favorite in that one too, wasn't he? And
I
who
can't
cares?
remember. One of them was a big favorite. I just can't remember if it was Sergey or if it was Jubli.
Wesley, what do you got?
Yeah, not too much either. The another great Jew. He should be a fave here, but
They're all
I
great.
don't know. Does he smoke sangria? I don't know. I was looking at the over. It's only a 1.5 here in a 145-pound fight. I don't know, man. This bottom of this card is fucking. You want to talk about fucking boxing cards anymore? Like bottom of this card is atrocious. So if I need
At
something,
least on the boxing undercards, there's people that I've heard of, and I don't even watch boxing that much. So
and there's actually like decent fighters, they can still box and
Yeah.
put on a decent fight. These people are like fucking terrible. I might look at the over 1.5, but I don't know. I don't know here. Right guy's favored.
I also don't know. I do agree that the right guy is favored, despite having never seen him, because I've seen the other guy. That's probably a pretty good sign. Yeah, nothing for me. Because look at it. Women's flyweight division up next. Ariane Lipski taking on everybody Wang Kong tonight. Sean, is it going to be one of those nights? Is it going to be a party in Jersey?
Jay moved.
I guess so. Yeah, Wang Kong is once again a giant favorite. Lipski's not very good, so I do understand it. It's just somebody. She's got caught. It's just Lipski's not going to do what Fernandez does,
Yep.
and that's the problem here. So Wang Kong's probably going to light her up. Maybe gets the finish. I don't know. I think after that knockout loss, she might. She was a little more reserved in the Bruno Brazil fight, but she should win fairly easily here.
Wesley?
Yeah. I was looking for any way to fade this chick again because man, she's hyped up. I can't see it. Lipski just she wants to grapple and shit, and that's very bad here. So I was thinking about the over 2.5, but I think you're gonna be clinching the entire time, hoping Lipski just doesn't get obliterated here. Can she like lay on her back and not get fucked up too much for 2.5 rounds? I don't know. Yeah, it's probably a pass. I was trying to talk myself into an over, but probably just a total pass for me. I don't think fucking Wang Kong is good though. I think his hype is kind of wild.
Agreed with that. Probably not betting this, but if I was looking at one thing, or I am looking at one thing, Lipski sub at like 16-1 or whatever it is. That's probably the only way she wins this. It's just like something stupid happens and she gets another knee bar by accident, or like finds a random arm bar from bottom like she's done a couple times before against moderately capable fighters. That's really the path that I see for her. So yeah, if you're dying for a play 4 fights into the card, and there are probably worse things that you could do than toss a Subway combo on Lipsky. Well, those are getting expensive now. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like fucking a quarter unit, bro. What are you talking about? Shit.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, moving it along. This was a recent addition to the card, I believe. Welterweight division. Chouse Williams taking on Andreas Gustafsson. Did I pronounce that one right? Chouse?
Close enough.
Yep.
John?
This should be fun for however long it lasts. Gustafsson is basically a finish or he's gonna lose kind of fighter. So Chaos Williams, never been knocked out, only been subbed once. He's a fairly durable guy, never been dropped. So that's gonna be a tough one. Can this guy, this 34-year-old, making his UFC debut, can he crack that chin? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'll pick Chaos Williams to just kind of survive the early blitz and take over and maybe get a late finish or just a decision win.
This the Swedish fella definitely looks like he's got some questionable tattoos. We'll get that out of the way to start with. But he seems to have some hype behind him. I mean, I guess there's a couple impressive things, like he fought an old UFC veteran in his 3rd career fight, beat old Leroy Jenkins in his amateur career. So, like, I guess that might be warranted, but Wes, you tell me. You probably know better than I do.
I mean, I don't know about that. He did lose to, Steven Janikowski's younger brother.
You mean Sebastian Janikowski?
Sebastian Janikowski. Then some dude named Jolton Lutterbach, not too long back. Dude hasn't fought in a year. I know he had like kind of a nice win on Contender Series, but fuck, that's been almost a year ago now. Chandra Chaos is durable and stuff. I was kind of looking at an under 2.5 here. I know it's juicy, but I'm not sure this goes 15 minutes, man. I think Sean's right that if Gustafsson doesn't get something early, then he probably goes out on his shield. So maybe an under 2.5 might throw that into some kind of small parlay or something. But gonna pick Chaos, but man, can you lay juice on Chaos Williams? Like that's just kind of that's shaky, man. So maybe an under for me, but just another fight where I don't have a really good read at all.
You could also go full minty bets and be like, I wanted to bet something that figured I wanted to bet.
What the fuck was that? I swear, it's like, are we watching Minty have a stroke on live TV? Like, what the fuck is happening?
That's what happens when a teleprompter breaks down and you don't have many.
You don't
any improvisational skills or knowledge about what you're talking about.
Yeah,
or you're not even making these bets. You're just reading what the fuck is on the screen, bro. Holy shit!
Rough. I think I watched that more than I watched any fights.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Absolutely lovely girl and very attractive, but does not seem to know a ton about the old MMA or the betting. I actually don't hate that if you can get 500 or whatever on fight ends in round 2. I don't think that's crazy. Kind of what Wes was talking about, where there's still a little bit of that danger if Gustafsson gets something early-ish. But you're also very much live for him to just gas out and absolutely fall apart in the second round. So I would pick Chaos, but man, that is, you made a pretty salient point about, do you really want to be laying juice on this guy? And I think you can probably say that about a lot of the fighters on this card. Can we say it about the next fighter, though?
Ooh.
We're moving up to the heavyweight division, where Sergey Spivac is a slight favorite over Where's Waldo Cortez Acosta. Sean?
I think we kind of know what Spivac's ceiling is at this point. It's basically a top 5. If you're in the top 5, you're going to beat him. If you're outside the top 5, he's good enough to finish you. For the most part, he's subs out a lot of guys. I don't think Cortez Acosta is a top 5 fighter. I know he's got a nice little streak here, but it's kind of fraudulent. And if you look at it, Ryan Spann, who is terrible and a light heavyweight,
205er, yeah.
Despain doesn't know what a takedown is, and he did
Isn't
what he had to.
Then he goes to
murdering guys.
He goes somewhere else and actually throws punches and fucking kills guys.
It's so mean. He just kills just like trash men in karate combat in like 10 seconds.
That's the UFC heavyweight division. He should have just been throwing punches the whole fucking time. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah. Beats an ancient Arlovsky, and then he beat Lucas Brzeski. So I'm not really impressed with that streak. I think Spivac's going to be able to get him down and probably grab a sub. Spivac is a pretty damn good grappler, especially when he's fighting a guy that doesn't have really good grappling, which, he lost to the Jailman, but that's just because the Jailman is a better grappler and wrestler than he is. But Spivac's gonna take this guy down and sub him. So I'll be betting him, laying it minus 137. I think is the best price that I can get myself.
Wesley.
Yeah, I think Sean kind of hit it. It's almost the almost the kind of the Derek Lewis situation. Like, is he fighting a top 5 guy? Is he fighting a top dude? Like, he ran into Gon, who's like an incredible fucking stand-up fighter. He got caught. He's just a little bit better than Spivac. Ran into the Jailman, who's just a better grappler than him. Now he's going against a guy he's probably a tiny bit better striker than. He's a way better grappler than. Yeah, I like Spivac here as well, man. He's getting a big step down from the Jailman. And Waldo, the dude lost to Marcos fucking De Lima not too long ago, and then beat like bum after bum after bum to get back on this streak. So yeah, I just think Spivac's the better fighter here. And I'm probably going to take a little bit of Spivac inside the distance too. I think that's around a plus 175 or so. I think he gets some takedowns here eventually, and Spivac goes for shit, man. He will start laying hammers, and if you give up a side choke or something to him, he will absolutely take it. He'll also lay hammers on you and try to get you out of there. So kind of like him inside the distance as well. I'll probably take a little bit of that.
Yeah, like I have no idea what we think has changed for Where's Waldo in the past. What was it, 2 years ago only that he lost to De Lima?
He's the same dude. He's the same dude.
He's the same dude. He's now facing a significantly better grappler, and like he got out grappled for as long as De Lima could breathe in that fight. And then the third round was an absolute disaster the other way. But that's just not going to happen with Spivac. We've seen Spivac actually wear dudes out once he gets on top of them, get finishes. And like, he's a giant dude. He doesn't have the greatest cardio in the world, but he's got pretty decent heavyweight cardio. So yeah, I think not much of a reason to think that Spivac doesn't win this fight. Obviously, big dudes. I'm sure at some point they'll talk about how Waldo was a pitcher or whatever, and he's throwing them fastballs out there because, we always come up with very original stuff to say. But Spivac doesn't get clipped early on by one of those, and he's just going to absolutely take over this fight. So I will be betting on Sergey Spivac in this fight. Sean, I know you mentioned the -137 that is available at the old Bet Online. I believe for those who have access to the legalities of the sports betting world, DraftKings -130, I thought I saw. So it's okay
Nice.
if you want to wet your beak a little bit. Next up, light heavyweight division. We've got
That's
Azamat.
consensus, right?
What was it? Oh yeah, that is the consensus bet of the week. I assumed that me saying I'm actually betting this one
Yeah.
probably gave it away because it's probably the only one that I'm betting. But that's indeed Sergey Spivac, consensus bet of the week. But non fat guys, we do what we do, Gotta stay in our wheelhouse. Anyways, apologies for that, folks. Light heavyweight division up next. Azamat Murzakanov, the most undefeated guy who shouldn't be undefeated but keeps finding a way, taking on Brenson Ribeiro. Is he one of those Brazilians that can't grapple? Or
Yep.
He's got a bunch of subs,
somebody else?
but
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
It could be just, fighting trash cans and getting
That
subs.
is also very possible. Anyway, what do you got here, Sean?
Yeah, not too much. Murzakanov never fights, once a year, basically. And yes, he's undefeated. He was losing
Still
that.
so annoyed that I didn't get the Teflon Don.
The
against
Teflon
him.
Don.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
And I think we all were on that train, and then he pulls a rabbit out of his hat. And then I think after that, we're like, all right, let's fade this guy. And when he fights Devin Clarks and Alonzo Menafields, I guess we should know better. The Jacoby win is decent, I guess, in hindsight. The other two are not that good, but this is light heavyweight, so that's those aren't terrible wins in light heavyweight, but they're just not good wins in general. Ribeiro is just not good enough. You're going to splits with Machado and losing to just terrible fighters in, like the Gadzilov or whatever his name is not good. I mean, the Zhang loss is whatever. He seems to be okay, but yeah, it's just not good. So I kind of get it. It's just big number. It's in a shitty weight class. It's tough to justify big numbers like this, but I won't be wasting any money on Ribeiro either.
Wesley.
Yeah, I wanna fade Murzakanov so bad again, but this just is not the fucking guy. And usually I'm willing to go out on like the tiniest of limbs against dudes that I really don't like and I want to fade, but I don't even think I can walk out on this one. Something I'm probably gonna play though is fight starts round 2. I don't think this is ending in the first. Murzakanov just does a lot of nothing early on. So I have a hard time seeing this not getting out of the first. So kind of like some fight starts round 2. I'm not sure what it is everywhere. I'm not sure if all the legals have it yet, but -145 or something about it. That probably gets better when legals all have it popped up. So that's what I'll be on here. And I hope I can get Murzakanov to stay around long enough with him only fighting one fight a year to be able to fade him again, because the dude's already 36. So I'm not sure how many more opportunities we're going to get, but this probably just ain't the spot.
Yeah, I was kind of looking in the same direction. Didn't look at what the starts round 2 is, but was thinking we're getting plus money on an over 1.5 in a Mirzakhanov fight, and he might not throw a punch for the first 7 minutes. So kind of like that. Do I really trust it all that much? No. Do I want to bet this fight? No. Do I want to keep thinking about talking about this fight? Also no. So we're going to move it on to the prelim headliner. Flyweight division. Bruno Silva taking on Joshua Van. Van's usually fun-ish to watch.
Very fun.
Maybe.
I mean, it's flyweights. What are we doing here?
Bruno Silva put
at least we know they're good. Yeah. Sean, what do you got?
Josh Van is likely to win this fight. This number seems kind of crazy for a flyweight that just doesn't have that many finishes, and that we've seen cracked and finished recently. I think Joshua Van is very, very good. But man, they're just minus 700 now. Like, that's fucking pretty wild. And Bruno Silva, has power. Like, he's dropped a shit ton of his opponents in the UFC. Like, obviously they're not really of the caliber, but dropping Tyson Nam, dropping Cody Durden, like, these are still decent flyweights. I do think Van's volume and just speed is going to be a bit too much, but I don't know. I might take a look at Bruno Silva plus 3.5.
Yep, I was thinking that same thing, bro.
If he can crack him a couple of times, he might not finish him, but maybe he drops him. I think he could probably win 1 round out of the 3 rounds, and at plus 180, that's it's not a bad look. So that's kind of the direction that I'm looking. But yeah, Van's likely going to win just on volume.
Wes?
I love that bet. I was looking at the exact same thing, that points handicap. Look, Van's probably going to win this fight. He's very good. He's going to have the volume. But man, like, Bruno Silva is not bad. Like, that guy's a decent fighter. He's been in there with some really good dudes. Like, he got in there with Cop's on a mission, and like was a tough fight for Bruno Silva. But man, like, hurting Cody Durden, Tyson Nam, Victor Rodriguez, like, he's been in there with some really good competition, man. And like, we've seen Van knocked out by Charles fucking Johnson. You can never get that out of your head. Charles Johnson can't finish a half a Subway combo. And I mean, he was in there tough with Charez, man. He was in there tough with Ray last time out. Like, he won those fights, but man, they were hitting each other. Like, and Silva's got some pop. I can't talk myself into straight up taking Silva, but plus 3.5 at plus 180 is wild. That I love that bet. I will absolutely be on that.
Yeah, I don't really understand what we're doing here. Only one of these guys has fought top 10 dudes, and that's Bruno Silva. And yeah, he's lost those fights, but he's at least been competitive in them. I know that Van's young and a prospect and all this. He's on a 3-fight winning streak now, but he's like, his closest thing to a step up was Charles Johnson, and he got knocked out. And if you did that fight 10 times or whatever, like, that's probably the only one where he gets knocked out, but it still happened. You can't just discount it. And I don't think that's something that, like, we've seen Bruno Silva in there against big hitters. We've seen him in there against better wrestlers. And yeah, I just don't understand how we arrived at minus 700 here. So That's a tempting one. The 3.5, especially the plus 3.5, especially because Van isn't like a dominant offensive grappler or anything like that. Yeah, it's very tempting. Very tempting. Bruno Silva, to me, is absolutely the side here. Just got to figure out how you want to go about playing it. Next up, main card, kicking it off in the welterweight division. Vicente Luque. This is a strong contender for two dudes who absolutely might not want to be there come fight night. Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland, could be super fun, could be a boring shit show. What do you think we get, Sean?
I think it's gonna be fun. Kevin Holland's last 9 fights, I've bet against him almost every single one. I didn't bet him against him last time. I actually bet for him, and he still made me sweat it. I definitely was okay with that bet, but he still made me sweat it. This is obviously the right weight class for him. 185, guys, grapplers are just too big for him. At 170, he'll be fine with grapplers, and he has good power for this division. I know Luque, he came out and snatched up that anaconda choke, his kind of go-to against Garimbo last time. I still worry about the damage that this guy has taken. Now, the Buckley fight, in hindsight, not that bad. Buckley's obviously on a nice streak here, and he's a lot better than I kind of ever thought he was going to be. I just think that Kevin Holland is going to put hands on Luque, and that chin is going to show up again, and Holland's going to put him away. Now, trusting Holland to do that with your money is a completely different fucking story. Because like you said, he could go in there and fuck around and not do what he should do. So I will probably stay away, but I do think that he is going to get Luque out of there. His hands are good. His defensive grappling and even offensive grappling at 170 is pretty damn good, that I don't think that Luque is going to catch him. So I think he gets Luque out of there, but yeah, I don't think I can get there now that he's minus 280. So yeah.
Wes, can you ever envision a universe where you're willing to bet Kevin Holland closing in on minus 300?
You should have your head examined. If you're Holland's one of those guys where you want him as an underdog or some even money type, because you never know with that guy. Sean's absolutely right about the weight class. Like, this is his weight class. He's much better down here. He's not giving up the size and the strength to dudes. But with that being said, he's still Kevin Holland. Like, the guy he might have decent defensive grappling, but guess what? He needs it because he'll go to his back and fucking lay there and give away rounds and shit. If you're laying minus 300 on that kind of shit, like, you're insane. I'm taking Luque in this fight, and I am just hoping that he does get those takedowns, because Luque's always got – that guy is still a legitimate black belt, has some insane subs. Not saying that he can pull it off on Holland, but I know Holland will lay there and play around on his back and try to throw up his legs and get shit that Luque won't be caught in. So I'm just hoping Luque will go for those takedowns on the feet. Yeah, I'm still a little worried, but it's been well over a year now than Luque's like taking any kind of damage in a fight. I like that. Not saying that like the other shit hasn't added up, because it has. The dude's still like 32 years old, a full year off without, not off, but taking any sort of damage to the head. how many times have we seen over and over we think dudes are completely done and their chins are completely done? They get a spell to where they take no damage, they take some time off, and all of a sudden they can take a punch again. Not saying that's going to be Luque, but I do like the time off and shit. And I'm just I'm hoping he does go for. I'm hoping Holland settles on him laying on his back. And there's absolutely a path for Luque in this fight. I would much rather be holding a plus 250 Luque ticket than a minus 300 Holland ticket. And I'm going to take a little bit of Luque. If he gets fucking obliterated again, so be it. That's my homie. I hope he fucks Holland up because I don't like that
guy. I think there's also some room to maybe look at the over 1.5 here. It's like 165, 170, some places. I think that's kind of low. I think even if Luque does get takedowns, he's not immediately going to sub Holland. As you said, Holland just lays on his back. He doesn't really give guys a ton of openings to get stuff on him. I do think that the demise of his chin is probably exaggerated, especially given the rest. So don't hate that. But yeah, I really, at the end of the day, just think that he's probably going to eat a lot of long punches from Holland. He's probably going to wear them, decently. And we see Holland getting his hand raised, but I don't see it being something that happens in the first half of the fight. I think this one's going to be closer to 15 minutes, regardless of which way it goes. Don't hate the Luque pick, just not doing it myself. Next up, we are in the bantamweight division for, I guess, the highly anticipated debut of Patchy Mix.
Dude, half of the people that watch this don't know who Patchy Mix is. Exactly.
Who?
And that, he's going to get so much exposure from being on this pay-per-view card that is going to do 300,000 buys that he's just going to be the next superstar, guys.
300,000? Ooh. You're being generous nowadays.
Hey, O'Malley's a star, isn't he? That's what I've been told.
But all fans know how to stream shit.
All of those fans also don't have money.
Yeah.
Or taste.
So they steal it.
Anyway, Patchy Mix coming into the UFC, taking on Mario Batista. What are we thinking about this?
It's a tough one. Because, historically we've seen a lot of these guys that, come from Bellator and Strikeforce and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's just UFC jitters are a real thing, but they don't always perform close to what they can be.
Just saw it.
Yeah, we just saw it. I mean, the difference is this guy's, I think, still in his prime, whereas a lot of times we see guys, like Lombard and shit like that, where they're a little past it. So, I mean, that could be a difference here. It's just tough. Mario Batista has no shame. He will do what he has to do, no matter how fucking boring it's going to be. So, I think Patchy Mix
makes other people for not enjoying it.
Yeah, you don't understand, bro. I think Patchy Mix is got to get this done early, because if he doesn't, I think that Batista is going to kind of take over and wear him out and kind of win the latter half of this fight. I hope Patchy Mix obviously chokes this dude the fuck out for what he stole from Aldo. I'm just not certain that he does it. I don't know. Mario Batista is a hard fighter to figure out. Like, that Blackshear fight was close, and then he, smokes Ricky Simone in a 3-rounder. But I know, like, that Ricky Simone is not who we thought he was. And then the Aldo fight, like, it's hard for me to get a read on him. And then Patchy Mix is a tough one to grasp based on this being his first fight in the UFC, and he hasn't fought in a decent, in over a year. His performance against Magomedov was
Probably
definitely
his
not as good as the
his
first time he fought him.
his
and-
worst performance in a couple years.
Yeah, like he was absolutely smoking dudes in that Bellator kind of run there, and then the most recent one was not the greatest. So a lot of unknowns. So I'm just gonna stay away. I'll pick Patchy Mix to get it done and try to manifest that shit.
Wesley.
Yeah, look, Patchy Mix is very fucking good, man. He had a legitimate run in Bellator and shit. He beat legitimate guys that would be top dudes in the UFC or anywhere else on his run. I think he's the better guy here, but like Sean's right. I don't know if it's UFC jitters or just when it comes to these guys like Patchy Mix and Patricky here lately, they're finally getting their opportunity on the quote unquote the biggest stage to where they can finally get the respect that they think they deserve. And it's not like them coming to the big show jitters. It's getting their respect jitters. And like you're getting that opportunity for the first time in all the years that you probably should have been getting it. And man, these dudes just lay a lot of eggs in this spot, man. And I really worry about that. And I worry about that even more because of the guy he's fighting. Like Batista can just ugly some shit up. He can do just enough to steal rounds from you. He will fucking calf kick you to death. He'll fucking throw a strike and move away. And he won't let you get into like Patchy Mix needs to sort of be in that rhythm. I think that's kind of what in the last Magomedov fight where he didn't look as good. He never got into that rhythm that he's very good at. And Batista's gonna give him problems here getting into that kind of fight that he wants. So I just think this is gonna be fucking close, whichever side goes. So I'm picking Batista because he's a dog in this spot, and I have a feeling that we see another one of those times where a guy coming in just lays a donut, man, and just can't live up to it that first time out. I think Patchy Mix is going to be fine, though. I think his second and third time out in the UFC will be way better, and I think he's a contender. The guy's very, very good, but I just think it's a tough spot, man. When we forget Batista's actually a very good fucking fighter. He's like a top 10 dude in this weight class. So, dog price here, I'm probably going to bet Batista. He's definitely going to be a pick, but I'm probably going to take a little bit of a dog shot here.
Yeah, I remember when Batista first came into the UFC, and we were like, "Oh man, like this guy's kind of fun to watch," and he's objectively gotten way better since then, but also objectively gotten way worse to watch since then. So, kind of hope he loses for that reason. Don't really have a read on it though. Like, I've seen both the guys fight a bunch. I know that Patchy Mix can hop on your back and find a rear naked choke and has like a bunch of different stuff that is a dynamic way to finish a guy. And he's done it against high level opponents. But like, it is weird. There is obviously something about coming over and fighting in the UFC for the first time that makes these guys perform not up to their typical standards. So does that happen here? If it does, is Batista good enough, or I guess like disciplined enough to take advantage? I certainly think he is. So I got no love for Patchy Mix in this one. When I think no, like I still think Rich Clemente when I hear that nickname. I feel like there's some nicknames that like they're synonymous with that dude. I don't even think of Cody Garbrandt. I just did the old Tapology search for no love, and yeah, I don't even think of that as his nickname. Rich Clemente's nickname. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. Only 3 fights to go. It's you get through the show a lot quicker when we don't waste half an hour talking about some dog shit that nobody cared about last week. Middleweight division on the middle of the pay-per-view. Kelvin Gastelum should be in fine form, back up at 185. taking on Body Bags, baby. Joe Pfeiffer, everybody's favorite weird redneck. Not my favorite. I don't. Something about him doesn't sit right with me. Sean?
Well, he's a fucking moron. That's probably what doesn't sit
Yeah.
right with you. He's fucking stupid and has a very high self. He thinks very highly of himself, which I don't know. I don't think he's that good. I do think he's good enough to beat Kelvin Gastelum here. Gastelum is not.
People were thinking highly of him enough that we got that nice Jack Hermanson price. So
We'll always have that. We'll always have that.
We will always have that. That was a good one. Gastelum is not an 85er. I don't give a fuck how many times he fights here. Once he fights guys that are good, especially at this point in his career, like I know he had a run and got a title shot, and that was a long fucking time ago. And he did what he had to do to get that title shot, but it's different now, man. Like the style matchups are just not good for him. He beats D-Rod, but D-Rod's 170 and that was a close fight. I'm not sure that the scorecards were indicative of how close that fight was. If Pfeiffer hits Gastelum as much as D-Rod does, Gastelum's going to be in trouble. Gastelum's obviously shown a really good chin throughout his career, but he is starting to take some damage. So, it's been a while, I think, since Gastelum has fought a guy with as big a power as Pfeiffer. So, I'm not betting it. I did bet it last time. I'm not interested in doing it now. He's like minus 410. Miss me with that, but I do think he beats Kelvin Gastelum probably by decision, but I think he's going to drop him at least once.
Wesley?
Yeah, I felt a whole lot better about betting Kelvin when this fight was booked last time. Him down in Mexico, come to find out
Pfeiffer with the shits.
Ate some local burritos or something. Like, why the fuck are you eating? Yeah. But like, you're about to fight. Why are you eating local food and drinking local water?
He's trying to get that. He's trying to get those steroid boosts right at the end.
Yeah,
the meat,
whatever they put in the tainted meat. Yeah, but like seriously, what are you doing before the fight down there, drinking the water and eating the food and shit? You got to be a fucking dummy. It would have been all time like great shit if that dude actually fought and went out there and shit himself. It would have been just fucking amazing. But yeah, I did feel a little better about betting Kelvin. Just taking a small shot. Not that thought he had the absolute best chance of beating Pfeiffer. I saw them face off today. They did the press conference and shit, and they faced off today. My God, man. Like Kelvin looked like a little kid standing in front of Pfeiffer. Like the size difference at 185 it's insane, man. Like Pfeiffer is huge compared to Gastelum. I'm not betting Kelvin in this spot. This feels bad. If everything leading up to the last fight when it was booked just seemed like Kelvin seemed in a decent headspace. Like seemed like he was training hard, was ready. Not saying that was gonna be the end all be all. But man, a rebook fight, it's Kelvin. The barbecue this man's probably been eating since he didn't eat the food down in Mexico. He probably flew right home and started hitting the brisket hard. So yeah, Pfeiffer is probably gonna knock Kelvin out in this fight. I think we start seeing we could possibly start seeing the end of that granite chin that Kelvin's had for all these years. The size difference in this fight is absolutely insane, man. Yeah, probably gonna pick Pfeiffer. I can't bet that fucking dumb redneck though. So just probably a pass for me.
Such a big price too. I mean, like he's not good.
Yeah, he's just big and hits hard. Yeah.
Yep.
And gets you a long way at 85 though.
Yep, it's kind of enough, but yeah, Kelvin Gastelum is the better fighter, but I don't think he's the better fighter when he's giving up probably 40 pounds come fight night. And that's just the actual weight difference. That's not even counting the muscle versus fat that we got going on there. So yeah, I'll pick Pyfer, but it doesn't feel good, and that price is absolutely sickening.
I want him.
A bunch of idiots throw it in parlays.
I want him to smoke Kelvin though, so we get something even better next time, because anybody that has a decent game and is his size, it's good. Like Brad said, like the guy's not great. He's just a big, strong motherfucker that hits kind of hard. We saw it already. We saw what a dude that can grapple and has a good game plan can do to this guy, and I think we'll get it again at a very nice price.
Yeah, even somebody like Copy Pop.
Yeah,
take that dude at a like. It wouldn't even need to be that big a price for me to take him against Pyfer. But there's so many guys, like almost anybody ranked, I would pick against Pyfer at this point. Co-main event. People are clamoring for it. the tension, the trash talk. It's off the charts.
Did you see it today? Somebody actually said that Pena is like the art of trash talk. It's making this fight so good. I can't remember somebody on Twitter had the fucking nuts to post something like it. I'm like, have you heard this woman talk? Like, seriously.
You got to be getting paid, right?
You have to. Yep.
There's no actual way to have that opinion unless you are being paid to have that opinion.
Man, we're far removed of the days of Connor versus Nate and shit. Like just A+ fucking shit talk, and we're so
two
far
super
removed.
different styles of shit talk, and they both worked, and now it's all just it's bad. It's bad. Anyway, Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. Maybe a giant chasm will open up beneath somewhere in Newark, and it'll swallow the octagon, and they both lose.
I don't want to wish Caesars on anybody or anything, but
Sean?
Yeah, this is amazing. Juliana Pena is fucking terrible. She lost against Pennington. I don't give a shit what the judges said. Harrison should smash her, take her down fairly easily. Pena's got terrible takedown defense. I know Harrison, in some spots didn't look amazing against Vieira, but Vieira actually has pretty good takedown defense. Pena doesn't. The real question is it going to be a sub or TKO? I hope it's a TKO. Let's smash that face in a bit.
You don't think Pena can survive on the bottom?
I hope not. Let's get this shit over with. If she does, then Harrison could gas. Like, this chick is literally killing herself to make weight, piss and blood, all this shit. So, like, Harrison better get it done and get it done fairly quick, because Pena could just survive and win another fucking title. Like, that is women's MMA in 2025. But I do think Harrison gets it done, and then we might get an okay fight after this, and then we can close the division.
You can only dream. Kayla Harrison's like the women's 135 Sean Shirk. It's like the only physical comparison.
It's nuts, bro. She is a fucking tank.
She is much bigger than Sean Shirk. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Wild. Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll keep it pretty short and sweet. Like, Pena is
Sean Shirk's arms. Boom.
Pena is actually like kind of bad, man. Like I thought she like clearly lost against Pennington, and Pennington sucks. Like she's terrible. Harrison is gonna take her down quickly and fucking smash, bro. Can she survive? Like I doubt it. Um, Harrison has gassed a little bit in fights, but she's still so physical and strong that it didn't matter. She still was taking Vieira back down and landing. Harrison inside the distance. Bovada, I don't know how much I can get it, but I'm going to wait and check all legals and shit. But Harrison inside the distance is going to be a pretty nice bet for me. I think all the shit talk, the opportunity, the belt in front of her, I think she's gonna fuck Pena up. I think it's gonna be fairly quick.
That would be nice. Yeah, I think any division where Juliana Pena can be a 2-time champion should immediately be shut down. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother breaking this one down. Suffice to say, I mostly agree with you guys, but could see it being a little bit more boring and take a little bit longer, just because sometimes Harrison's weirdly not dominant from top position, especially when she should be able to. Main event time. Rematch between Merab Dvalishvili, the Georgian snooze machine,
How's this
and
team do
Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Mookie. I can't believe that this guy
He even gave up the weed. He actually gave up the weed too. Like he's even like more uncool now. Like fuck this guy.
He's not jacking it. He gave up the weed. He's not cheating on his wife. Like what are we doing?
Semen retention, is that a thing that he does?
I mean, he's just not pulling it. I think he's still
changed my breakdown.
I think he's just not wearing out his arms pulling it. He's still dropping some.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you for the update. Yeah, this fight's happening again. It was good the first time. I don't hate that it's happening again. Like there probably could have been much more of a build-up, considering O'Malley hasn't fought since the last fight. But you always knew that the UFC was going to try and get him back in there to fight for a title as quickly as possible. So it is what it is. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised they just didn't run it fucking instantly back. But they I guess I don't know if they tried to get Merab to lose or I don't know. But it's a bit of a weird one for me. The first fight, I had 5 units on Merab. I was very confident in him. I thought he was going to run over O'Malley. I historically have bet against O'Malley a lot and lost a lot of money in the Peter Yan fight and the Cheeto fight. And I mean, I didn't lose lots in the Cheeto fight, but I lost a lot in the Peter Yan fight. And I thought Merab was going to smoke this dude. And it was a lot closer than what I expected. That first round goes a little bit differently, and I lose another big bet to Sean O'Malley. And it's hard to know. Like I don't know if Merab was he worried? Is that why he wasn't like? I don't think Merab was his normal self for parts of that fight. Like he wasn't his just push forward, aggressive, just cardio machine self. And I don't know if he just respected the power of O'Malley. I don't know if it was an injury. I don't know what it was. And we kind of saw what can happen if he isn't just pedal to the metal the whole time. And he gave O'Malley some space in the 5th and he got hurt. I think O'Malley's going to be better this time and pull the trigger and be less, worried about what Merab can do. But it's tough, man. Merab, I said Merab broke MMA with the amount of cardio that he has, the EPO that he has. He's not the most skilled fighter, but he can just try to take you down a million times and win that way. And it's not fair because you're supposed to, get tired when people stuff your takedowns and then you pay for it. And it just doesn't happen with this guy. But now we're in a situation where, you know, it was a close fight the first time. I think Marab's obviously like the better fighter, but you know, there are pockets where, you know, if he's not going to do that much when he does take down O'Malley, and O'Malley can stop fucking around and get up, which, you know, Marab's not amazing at holding somebody down. If he lands some shit on the feet, like we're at the point where a little bit of damage on the feet is still sometimes enough if you're going to do nothing laying on the guy. So I might actually be betting Sean O'Malley in this one, which is quite the turn based on what I bet in the first one. I haven't decided that, but that's kind of the way I'm leaning. It's going to be a pass, or it's going to be a small bet on O'Malley, which is wild to think about. Maybe I'll just mush O'Malley for everyone.
Wouldn't hate it. First fight was like basically a pick'em by the time the fight went off, right?
Yeah, so I got a little bit of dog money, but it was basically a pick'em.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I remembered, but you know, I also remember thinking it was insane, and I would bet a bunch on Merab, and I was like, well, if O'Malley does it to me again, he does it to me again, and he almost did.
Almost did.
Yep. And now we've got what, minus 275, which it's interesting based on how the first fight went. Wes?
Yeah, I was in that same position of having a large chunk on Merab in that fight, and also O'Malley has cost me money too. But I think there's kind of an asterisk to that. We should have won on Munoz. We should have won on Peter Yan. Like he lost those fights.
Shoulda.
I get that, but when you're looking at betting against him again, you have to take all of that into context that he was losing these fights to these guys that we liked. Look, I do think O'Malley makes adjustments in this fight. I do think he's going to throw a little more and stuff. I think Merab has gotten better too, though. Like Merab has fought since the last time they fought. Merab has showed us his elevation since we don't know what O'Malley is.
And beat very good fucking fighter.
He destroyed a very good fighter. Destroyed him. Like I get the line here, and it's very tough to lay that kind of juice after watching the first fight. But has Merab leveled his game up to where this I don't know if this is justified, but just being a way more heavy favorite at this point, I think some of that has to do with his last performance too, not just the first fight. We've seen him since they fought. Man, it's tough. That line's really tough. I do think Merab wins again. I do think it's gonna be somewhat close again, and that's just a tough price to lay. Especially against O'Malley, who does have that, you know, enough power to have that one shot being able to change a fight. I think this time, though, Merab is in his shit the entire time, though. I think Merab is not going to give him that space this time. He knows he's got some of the best coaches on the planet that watch that fight over and over. I think Ray Longo's going to be in his fucking ear to be in O'Malley's shit the entire time and not give him that space. There's just always that chance that, you know, like Sean said, we saw it in the fifth, that if there is a lull at any point in that fight and O'Malley can get some good shots off, like he can hurt Merab. Man, I got to go with Merab again, but I do have a hard time laying that kind of price, and I might not have any kind of bet on this fight. Can't bet on me personally. I can't bet on O'Malley when I've gotten just trapped so much the past couple of years betting prices who I think have a path, and the fave wins almost every single time because they're just the better guy. I think we're seeing that here. It's a crazy line, but I just think the better guy is the rightful fave and is probably going to win a close fight.
I could see it. Man, it's interesting because, like, yeah, Merab should have been all up in his shit from moment one of the first fight. So was it an injury? Was that the strategy? Was he worried about what O'Malley was bringing to the table? Like,
we know Merab's got a broken toe going into this too. Like,
Might have two.
like for his game too, that matters a tiny bit. A tiny bit. I don't think it matters huge, but it does matter a tiny bit that he's got a severely broken toe. Like just a week or two ago, it was fucking purple. So that matters a tiny bit.
I think also like the best way to prepare for a guy like Merab, you can't train with people that are going to simulate what he does because nobody does what he does. So the best way to prepare for him is to have fought him already. And like I think he didn't get the full snooze machine experience in that first fight, but I think there was like enough of a taste of it that he should know what to expect and what to prepare for this time around, which I think might give O'Malley a bit of an edge. And at the end of the day, I think in our New Year's predictions, I said that O'Malley was going to be the bantamweight champion. I was laughed at, was mocked, but I mean, this has to be my chance. I gotta pick him here because if he doesn't win, the prediction can't come true. So we're going with O'Malley. I think he'll take some experience from the first fight. Be kind of ready for what Merab brings to the table, and find a way to just pull out that extra round or two in this one. So Sean O'Malley is going to be my pick. And I'm going to be absolutely that dude that is the coward that picks an underdog in the main event and doesn't bet it, because there's a good chance I will be asleep by the time this fight happens, especially if the Harrison fight goes the way I anticipate it will.
No.
The Pacers are doing it again.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on there?
They're doing it again.
Yeah. I'm sort of, my attention is divided at this point. But yeah, I think that probably does it. I'm not sure if there's anything else you guys want to chat about. Oilers up 1-0.
Let's go.
What will they be?
It's this year. This is
3-0
bro.
by the time we circle back around for next week, or is there even a UFC card coming next week?
There is. They're going to Hotlanta, of course. Lance is definitely going to a Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley main event fight with Rose versus Miranda Maverick as the co-main. So
does Lance even watch the fights anymore?
He fucking does. He does.
I don't think more than I watch for sure.
Yeah,
does.
I don't think he makes even co-mains anymore though on the East Coast time. I think he's chalked on most of those.
That's tough, the sad part. Man. He watches the shit. That's the thing. He does. I swear he does watch the fights, except he falls asleep before the actual good ones happen.
The good ones, yeah.
Even worse.
Yep.
Wait, they do good ones these days?
Yeah, well, every once in a while at the top of the cards they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Let's cross our fingers for 3-0 by next Wednesday.
What's the schedule? Going tomorrow. Do they have
tomorrow,
an extra
then
day?
Monday? Yeah, they got an extra day, and then they have an extra day between 3 and 4 as well.
I'm glad we got a little bow ad on the old dry con, because that guy is just on another fucking plane right now. He's just
helps when he is not absolutely fucking injured, like he was last year and couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it's wild when
a week or two before Bo was onto it, because I was
smart.
It is pretty wild that you can like jump off the ice on a screen like that when you're playing next to Big Goat. But the guy does. He's insane, man. What was that? What is it? 3 OT winners in this playoffs?
The funny thing is he had 0 overtime winners in his career before this year, and now he's tied
the record.
The record
yeah.
in a playoffs for 3. So I hope he doesn't break that record, because I don't know if my heart and butthole are going to be able to take that. But
too much more overtime.
Yeah. But if he does it, that would be pretty dope, and that might clinch his Conn Smythe.
they just look a little different this year to where last year when they got down like they did in game one, they kind of folded. Not this year. They get down this year and it's just like it's time to stop fucking around, you know.
Yeah, which is it's always fun to watch. I'd rather them not do that, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, might as well lose a few more years off your life. Fuck it. As long as they bring it,
That's
bring
right.
it home.
That's right.
Just think you could be a Maple Leafs fan, you know.
No thanks. Hard pass.
Oh, fucking Pacers did it again. Ridiculous.
Did they?
Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Fucking Halliburton again, bro. There's
Halliburton
no way.
with no time left.
There is no way. Dude,
Team of Destiny. Wow. Well, maybe I don't need to log into that safe account anyway. Because I swear I've got the Thunder's championship from last summer.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay, sir.
Yeah, why the Thunder are gonna win like 4 in a row now? Watch.
Probably by like 30 points each.
Yep.
So even though Pacers are up 1-0, what's the price on the Thunder?
Thunder probably gonna be like.
Are they still minus
300?
200?
Oh yeah,
like
they'll still be. What were they like minus 700 before the series started?
Wild.
So,
that's absolutely wild.
I can't ever remember a team being that big a favorite going into an NBA Finals.
The NBA.
Holy shit!
Weird.
Haliban.
Yep.
Them like putting his head on Osama bin Laden and calling it Haliban is like that's fire, dog. that's good shit. That man's insane.
Anyway, I think it's about time for us to sign off for the evening. Appreciate you guys joining us, Rob, Jeff, whoever else was in the chat. Apparently, we'll be back next week to talk about things that are happening in Hotlanta. We'll see you then.